Here's a scenario that happens every single day in real estate markets across the country. An agent with 15 years experience, hundreds of closings, and genuinely deep expertise in their market loses a listing appointment to an agent with 4 years of experience and half the track record. Now, the seller chose the newer agent, right? Not because they were better at the job, because when the seller went online to research both agents before the appointment, the newer agent looked more credible, more current, more present, more like the kind of professional agent who is on top of things right now. Okay, the experienced agent's expertise was real, and that might be you, but it was inevitable, and invisible expertise doesn't win business, guys. So we're going to be talking about the credibility gap here and why it's been growing wider every year and will continue to do so. This is Elite Zone, and here we go. Yes, y'all. What's going on, Blake? How are you this morning?
Top of the morning. We are good. We had our cup of coffee today, so we're ready to get into this great episode that we got coming. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, and yes, I've got my coffee here in this lovely Canada this cup I got in Vancouver, so I'm caffeinated as well. And you know, this topic has been coming up more and more and more. Agents I talk to, I don't know if you're noticing this, but the education that we're doing and that we're giving them, when there's things that you can do that a lot of agents out there don't even know exist, right? And so the educational piece that we bring here is really, really important. We're going to talk about this credibility gap, because if you are that first agent and you're great, hey, we want everybody to know that, right? We want you to do well. So this isn't an episode about working harder or knowing more necessarily, guys. It's every agent listening already has more expertise than buyers or sellers are going to need, guys. So you're good, right? Gap is about what you know and what the world and buyers and sellers can verify. So Blake, what is the credibility gap, and why has this gotten so wide between people that are leveraging systems and the ones that aren't?
Yeah, so one of the things that we actually have heard from some of our agents is like, hey, I was working with a, seller. I had a listing presentation, and, the seller's response was like, hey, we loved meeting you, but we decided to go into another direction. And then the agent, goes and they're on their website and they're looking at different properties in the MLS, and they actually see that listing, and it is live with not better photos. The pricing really wasn't that better. The marketing was that better. But what happened is they went with the person that they believed, like I just said, seemed more credible online and was going to get them more visibility. So with the credibility gap, it kind of is the same thing. So I like to look at it like one aspect that sellers and buyers are going to look for is your reviews, right? So whether that review is on Google, whether it's on your website, they're going to go and try to find reviews in general. Doesn't matter where it's going to be. And you have, the agent A who's been in the industry for, 10, 15, 20, maybe even plus years. And they have sold, thousands of homes. And then you have the agent B who maybe is like 3-5 years into the industry. They've sold a few hundred homes. But the issue is agent A, who has the experience, who has sold multiple homes, maybe only has, 30 reviews. And the newest one was about 2 years ago. And then you have agent B, who is newer to the industry, who's only sold 100 or so homes, but they have over 100 reviews. And those reviews are coming in consistently every month. So what a buyer and seller sees, and what AI tools are seeing, is, hey, who feels more active? Who is going to be able to sell or help me get into the home I want based off of the reviews that I'm reading? And that's going to unfortunately be the agent B, who has less experience, who though has more reviews, because that's what's being shown online. And at the end of the day, at this point, especially in real estate, right, it's not fighting for the listing presentation, it's fighting to even get the listing presentation. They're going to go with the person that they feel online is going to be able to create the success that they're looking for. So that's one thing that kind of sinks, is whether that's true or not. That's just what they see online. And then that agent gets that opportunity. And of course, they sell their pitch of what they're going to be able to do, right? So that's the credibility gap, on reviews. Another one is websites that we see a lot of times where clients are like, one website will say, hey, we are dedicated, or I am, if it's a solo agent, like I'm dedicated to helping buyers and sellers achieve their real estate dreams. That's awesome, right? Like, yeah, that's what I would assume why you got into the industry. So you could help, consumers get into their dream homes or buy their investment properties, creating real estate investments and portfolios. Like, that's one of the big reasons why people get into it. But then you have another agent whose website kind of reads something different, where they're like, hey, I'm helping military families relocate to the areas maybe that they're focused on. Let's just say San Diego. Obviously, San Diego is a big military hub. Helping military families move to San Diego with VA loans, short timelines, and remote closings. If you go to that website and you see those two, you're looking at San Diego and you come across two agents, and you have, once again, the one that has the expertise and the one that doesn't, you're going to say, hey, hold on, this person's talking about military VA loans, remote closings. Yeah, I'm still in Virginia. I haven't moved there yet. That's actually who I need. Whether they've had the experience or not, it's that credibility gap that is missing.
Yeah, exactly. And it seems like that's obvious. The gap's growing, right? Because of AI and how search is changing, and it's no longer feasible just to pick one or two channels and roll with it. If you want to really do the deal, you got to build your digital entity, your trust entity, which is, the whole nine, which we talk about. But yes, I mean, that's totally counterintuitive, right? Because a newer agent that's publishing content about their market or collecting, the keyword rich reviews, they're maintaining their digital presence, and they're the ones that are going to get more business, and that's not fair, but that's the reality. And it's going to be moving faster and faster. I don't know the name of the law. There's a specific law that says something to the effect of like technology doubles in speed like every 5 to 10 years, and so it's crazy. It's growing, right? And that's it. I mean, expertise wins the deal once you're in the room, but just like you said, like you got to be able to get in the room. And even if you do, like, let's say you're doing the deal, but they're going to make that impression of you, right? That like if they get 3 agents in to do the listing presentation, and one of them they saw is like, this is great, this person looks great, everything's great, I'm really thinking this is going to be the best one. And then the other 2 are contenders, but not quite there. Even then, like they're already going to have an idea in their head of who they want to choose, right? So it's going to be a bias. So that's just the deal.
And on top of that, right? Like I'm even thinking and you almost have to put yourselves in the consumer's like foot and say, like, as a seller, one of the biggest things that you are looking for is a real estate agent who can market your property to get the best deal, to get the shortest closing, and to make sure we get the right buyers, right? So if I, as a seller, am looking at that digital footprint of the agents that I'm going to work with, and I love an agent because I love that they're telling me, hey, I'm going to be able to negotiate. This is how I would approach the marketing. This is how we're going to take photos to get your listing out there. I'm going to say that's great. But then if I don't see it online already done as almost like that proof, I'm going to be like, is this an idea and what they want to do? Like, I have never seen online them actually do this with other properties for me to know and solidify, like, okay, yeah, no, they know what they're doing. I 100% agree with they're saying, and I'm able to see that they've already done this. So if you're not able to show that either of what you're saying, this is why I'm the best and this is what I'm going to do for you, here's a portfolio of things that I've done, then it's also hard to say, well, yes, I'm going to go with you, versus someone that's able to show
that. Of course.
It's going to make that huge difference. But it's that social proof. You need it.
You do. Absolutely. It's invaluable. So what is that? Zig Ziglar's got a quote, like, to make your dreams come true, you have to make other people's dreams come true. You know what I mean? So it's like everything comes around in a circle. It's like, old sales and mindset stuff. But I think that the bottom of it, if you are an agent who really wants to do the deal full time, you can't have one foot in, you can't have one foot out. You have to be completely committed to your clients, completely committed to whatever area you're in, completely committed to building it. Otherwise it may not be the best path unless something really revolutionary happens in the next few years. Who knows? But anyways, there are ways that
there are ways. there are ways 100%. And I think too, like, if you're not advocating for yourself, because at the end of the day, like, you are your business, right? And you do need to advocate for yourself, because if you are not, then who else is, right? So that's where we always like to say too, and we've talked about this before, is like, if you are doing all these amazing things, so let's say you are in a listing presentation and you say all these things that you're going to do because you've done it before, but you're not showing that social proof, it's almost like an invisible track record, right? Like, okay, that's great, I love it, can you show me it? And if you don't have that proof to show, then it's like really hard for someone to solidify. So like, something that I think about is like, for your reviews, let's just say, right? Like, if you helped a buyer beat 12 other competing offers, let's say, which is a lot, because you knew the listing agent, and then because you knew the listing agent, you knew they preferred a like shorter inspection contingency over a higher purchase price, like, you know, the little ins and outs, but obviously no one on the front end knows that, right? Because if the buyer that you worked with just left a review, or you put a post out like, congratulations to my buyers, no one knows like the back end work that you did to get them there. No one knows that you beat out 12 other competing buyers and was able to negotiate in a way that got them that offer.
Yeah, you have to advocate for that yourself. You have to make that known.
Yeah, exactly. Like, yes, we want to hope that our buyers and sellers are also leaving us reviews, especially if they loved working with you, that they're able to like also voice that. But you also have to voice it yourself, just in case. Like, you can't always rely on, you know, sometimes the buyers and sellers, they get busy, life happens, like, you know what I mean? So it's important that like, that is also part of your strategy of like the content you're posting, or like, if you are doing a post for, you know, your buyers, like, you give a little more content for it as well. So
for sure. And you know, should the verbiage shouldn't just be generic and interchangeable with all the other agents that's out there, right? Like, we talked a lot about this, about being specific, and we're definitely doing that now, because if you have the social proof, you know, 15 years of local expertise, you're hardworking, results driven, show the results, have it ready, have a portfolio. This is what I can do to market. This is how I'm going to get you all of that stuff, right? Your unique value propositions, you know, stuff stands out and makes you look credible. So an agent who says, I specialize in helping first-time buyers navigate competitive multiple offer situations in, you know, coastal San Diego, whatever. That's going to tell AI, most importantly, and then a buyer also most importantly, exactly, you know, your credibility. So that's what needs to happen. And
and to give more kind of like that generic language, you know, the things that we see sometimes, and like, if this is you, if some of the examples that we're giving right now, like, you are right now sitting, you're like, oh, I have that written, like, it's okay, because these are things that we can adjust and we can make better, right? So it's nothing that is like, oh, if this is how you have it, like, you're in the wrong. It's just, we need to put a little more effort into updating it, so that way you are coming up as a search result. So if you're someone that has on your website or your socials, I work hard for my clients, that's great. We love that. And you probably do. However, something that you want to kind of change up to that verbiage is, you know, like you were saying earlier, like, I specialize in helping first-time home buyers compete against cash offers without overpaying, right? Like, that's how you're telling how you work hard for your clients. Another one that we see is like,
that's big
great.
one.
And that is great. You want to be a local market expert, but maybe say, hey, I've negotiated more than 100 transactions in Henderson, Green Valley Ranch, and Anthem communities.
Yep. And I know more about this community and these people than anybody. And go to my website. You can check out my content.
Exactly. You go to your website. Maybe you have little blog posts about the local community, or you know, different cafes or family-owned restaurants, whatever.
Right. Blake, I feel like it's important too, just because I know that we did a cool interview yesterday with Justin, and he was talking about being able to speak all about yourself into the app, and then it'll learn about you. The AI will learn about you, and then it will apply that to, what does it apply? Like, just give me an overview of that, just because I think for content and not creating generic content, that would be
This is very helpful. Yes. So if you are a current Agent Elite client, you have the mobile app that's connected to your database. That mobile app is Max for Real Estate. If you don't have it downloaded right now, that is your one task for today. We can definitely show you like a demo of what the mobile app looks like and how you can navigate it. But in the mobile app, we have called an AI interviewer. everywhere. And what that does is it will auto create posts to your Facebook business profile. So as we talk about, like, it's so important to be creating content, posting content regularly. But what this app feature does is if you haven't set it up yet, you'll go into your app and it'll be like first thing that pops up. And you basically are just talking to it. So it's going to ask you questions. It's going to say, hey, like, this is the information I have based off of like your system. Here's your name, your phone number, your email, your website. And then it'll ask like, good, yes or no. And then you can of course update it if you need to. And then it'll start asking like, okay, what area do you specialize in? What do you focus more on? And like, it could be, you know, I'm in San Diego, California. I focus on luxury homes, VA, whatever it is. And it will continue asking questions just to really get to know you. And then it will say, hey, like, I've gotten enough information. I can continue asking more questions to get to know you even more, or like we can like stop. I personally think that continue going, the more it knows, the better it's going to be able to like make that content and really get to know you and your personality. But another cool like thing with that, we always recommend is doing voice to text, because it also can pick up your tonality in your voice. So that's another way it can like kind of learn like, who you are. Yeah.
That's great. That's really cool.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so you finish basically this interview. It has like curated who you are, what you do, who you help. And it even asks like, what are some hobbies you like to do? Or how do you like to help out in the community? So it's not just like, oh, I help buyers and sellers in this market. Like it truly tries to get to know you.
It gets the holistic viewpoint of you as a person and how that relates to business and values and all of that kind of stuff and personality, all the stuff that goes into branding, right?
100%. And so I'm actually going to pull up the app right now too, because we just released new features of what type of posts you can make. So like I said, if you've already set up the interview, it's going to be the first thing where it says, hey, AI powered Facebook post now. And when you click on post now, it'll say like, hey, you're going to generate a post, and it will give you all types of posts that you make. So the first one you can say, pick for me about it. You have promote your listing. So if you do have a listing you want to promote, it will create a little verbiage of it. Market trends and housing reports. Remember, in that interview, you gave where you specialize or where you're trying to target. So it's able to take that information and create a post on it. Neighborhood and community guide, tips and advice, local events, and then you can custom your topic as well. So like there's so many options. It's not limited to like one type of post. And then you will be, it literally will take maybe 60 seconds to generate the post. It will include a photo as well. So it's not just text. And then you post it to your Facebook business profile, and boom, there's your content for the day. Like we've made this so easy for our clients to where it's like there should be limited reason why you're not at least using this feature from your app to post on Facebook business
for
profile.
sure.
Yeah, no, it's a great tool. A lot of the clients that we have are using it, and they're like, this is so easy, and I'm so thankful to have had this. So
well, think about it this way. I mean, before this technology, I mean, this would take a long time sitting there thinking, writing, mapping, you know. I mean, we've all done it. We all existed before AI. So you guys remember how long it is to like flesh out a branding and business plan, just pulling up a Google Doc and, you know, typing off the top of your head. So I mean, now think about it this way. Somebody who maybe wants to transition into real estate. Maybe you're working a corporate job and you're like, you know, I know real estate, you got to be all in if you're going to do it. We are providing systems and tools that may make it easier for somebody like that to at least, okay, I got my 6 months of reserves, quitting my corporate job, and I'm going to hit real estate hard. If you're planning that and you talk to somebody, you know, you talk with us first, we can say, great, you know, when is this happening? Here's everything you need to know. And, you know, here's all the tools that you're going to, so the times are changing. So, you know, there's a lot we can do here. You know, it doesn't need to be a catastrophic event to get this stuff done. Just systems, planning, and consistency. But here's the thing is, what happens when you've got all of this stuff and you're doing it, and then you're not using that 4-syllable word that we love, consistency?
Yeah, I mean, I like to say if you're not doing it, someone else is. There's always going to be someone in your market that is putting in the work and that is being consistent so that they can be number one.
It's not a one-time build. You got
It's
to
not.
keep.
It is a consistency thing that compounds over time. And we've talked about this, I think, a few episodes ago, where, something that you create in January might get attraction now in July, which then creates that opportunity for you to get, hot lead that you're able to nurture and create something out of it, right? Then that's a repeated client. It can become a referral. But everything that you do, you might not see the results right away. Just like when you probably started off with real estate in your business, maybe if you were helping out some family and friends, of course, you were like, oh, I got my first
Yeah.
deal. This is exciting. But like, truly, if you think about it, like, it takes a few months, if not at least a year, to really start creating that consistent success for yourself. And it's the same exact thing when it comes to like your marketing. It's the same thing when it comes to like the content and the advertising. Like, it is all part of a system that you just have to continue doing. Like, that is part of the business. It's a part of the job.
Yep.
And when you can nail that in and really lock in on that, like, you're gonna be in that competing spot at the top.
Absolutely. I want, if you're out there right now and you're feeling like you're not visible, you're credible, and you've got authority and you know what you're doing and you're not getting that out there, there's a couple of things that you can do to close that gap. If you're currently working with somebody, after every closing, capture the story, document that stuff, right? Like, pay close attention, and you can leverage AI for this kind of thing, right? Like, you can talk to it. Hey, here's what happened today. Here's what happened today. Here's the newest with the closing at, 314 Oak Street or whatever. You know what I mean? Document that and then keep the transcripts of it. And then you'll be able to have AI in your brand through your voice, tell a creative, exciting, engaging client story that you can share, right?
Yeah.
And then you can replace, like you're saying, like, replace generic language with specific identity, right? And that's kind of the whole, like, I was blown away by how well the AI interviewer actually works. Like, it's not just like, what's your name, what's your DRE number, what's your website, okay, cool. Here it's like really taking the time to get to know you as an individual and, grow with you, right? Because we change. Your brand isn't going to stay the same. You're going to change. You're going to grow. So are there any other failure points that agents run into here that are not allowing them to close the credibility gap? Documentation for case studies, get the generic language out of there. What else do you think is important?
Yeah, I think time. I know we always talk about, like, I wish there was more time, but like in this case, like, time meaning outdated. So for your reviews, like, not having current reviews, and like your last review was a few years ago, like, that's gonna unfortunately hurt you. Or maybe on your website, you haven't added blogs, or you haven't added your testimonials on there. Maybe you added a new community, but you haven't added it onto your website. Like, those things can hurt you. Same thing with your social media. Like, the last time you posted was from last Christmas, like, and that's the last time, someone's seen you in your digital footprint. Like, those are things that you need to make sure you are continuing to update all the time. And if you don't, like, unfortunately, it will hurt you.
Yeah, and it's going to get harder. And well, I don't want to say hard, because I don't want to misrepresent this, but it's going to get, we're going to move further and further in this direction.
Yeah.
As time moves on. Right. So if you're not doing these things, the credibility gap is going to continue to widen. Right.
Yeah. And I mean, on top of the credibility, it has to do with like others also then coming into that spot of like, if someone else is working hard and they're putting in the effort and they know they need to be consistent, and they're consistently posting, they're consistently updating their reviews, they're consistently doing their website, that person that's not doing that currently, it's just going to double the amount of work to even get to that spot again, and then having to then maintain that. I know a lot of times we talk to agents, they're like, I know I need to do it and I know I'm behind, but I'm ready and I'm ready to go. Like, we love that mindset, because that's the mindset that we look for when someone knows they need to do it and they're ready to do it, because that's when we're able to give the strategy and they can execute it. And if you're someone that is like, I know I need to do it, but like, I just don't have the time, or I don't want to do it because that's not something that I want to focus on. I want to focus on the other part of real estate. Then like we Agent Elite for sure have resources that could allow you that flexibility. And if it's not us and it's someone else, great, but you need it. Like you need it.
Totally.
So
Yeah, 100%. I love that. I love that. What a great conversation. I love our conversations. I love helping real estate agents. Guys, look, the credibility gap here is the distance between what you know and what buyers and AI and sellers can verify about you, right? So it doesn't matter if you've done it. If you're not showing that you've done it, it doesn't exist. And I hate that it's like that, ladies and gentlemen, but it is. Most experienced agents have a bigger gap than they realize. Agent Elite is here to show you what that gap looks like and to help you close that. Okay. And you don't have a big gap because you're not experienced or you're not good or you're not credible, right? You are. It's just because the expertise only lives in the conversations and within the transactions. It's not visible. So this is what you need to work on. And we've got a great challenge this week for you, Blake. What are we going to have these guys do before the next show?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a few things we can have them do, but no, if you are thinking about like the generic content that we were talking about earlier, and you're someone that does have more of that generic language on your website, your socials, your Google, go and update that. Put it into chat, put it into Gemini, Claude, and just say, hey, this is the generic language I have. This is what I truly do, or this is how I've helped my clients. Can you help me, put together something that I can add to my website, socials, or Google? That's what I would try doing and testing it out too, right? The more you can get comfortable with AI tools and systems, the better you're going to be able to leverage it for your business.
Boom. Well, Blake told you guys right there. So go out there and get at it, and also comment visible on any Agent Elite social media post. And the team is going to show you exactly where your credibility gap is and what to build first to close it. Okay. So, and then grab that visible agent guide because you want to follow that bad boy because it's going to lay out exactly step 1, step 2, step 3 on how to become a more authoritative agent and to really start to grow, start to grasp these, how the market's working, right? How marketing is working, because it's a hard job, right? You're a real estate agent. You want to go sell homes. We know that. We want you to do that. So that's why we are here. So get out there and do it, guys. And until we see you again, I hope you have a great, productive week. Thanks a lot, everybody.